For the longest time, the idea of artificial intelligence in the classroom felt like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, guess what? The future is here. AI isn't just some far-off concept anymore. It's a real, powerful force that's completely changing the game for how we teach and learn right now. Yeah, I'm talking about those movies with the robot teachers. Turns out they weren't so far off. Today, AI is doing everything from automating the boring stuff to creating personalized lessons. And, it's also kicking off this huge debate about what education should even be. The future has literally pulled up a chair in the classroom. So, you might be wondering, how on earth did we get here? It feels like this AI boom just happened overnight, but it really didn't. The journey of AI into our schools is actually a pretty cool story, and it all started a long, long time ago with one simple but massive question. Okay, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. This whole thing kicked off way back in the 1950s. You had Alan Turing asking, hey, can machines actually think? And then, boom, the term artificial intelligence was born. Fast forward to the 60s and 70s, and we get these first super clunky computers in classrooms. Then, for a few decades, the big idea was the smart tutor, systems trying their best to act like a human teacher. But the real explosion? That came with the internet, which powered all the adaptive learning platforms we have now. And that brings us right to today, the generative era. I'm talking ChatGPT, Gemini, the tools that have just completely taken over. All right, so AI is here, but what's it actually doing in the classroom? Well, it's basically bringing a whole bunch of superpowers to the table, and they're seriously changing the game for both students and teachers. Let's run through these because they're pretty amazing. First up, personalized learning on steroids. Imagine lessons that adapt to your exact pace. Then there's all the admin work. AI is taking over the boring stuff, grading, scheduling, so teachers can focus on, teaching. It also helps build smarter, up-to-date lessons. And this one's huge, accessibility. We're talking text-to-speech, instant translation, breaking down barriers for so many students. Plus, AI can sift through data to find kids who are struggling before it becomes a big problem. And finally, it's making learning fun. With 24/7 chatbots and cool games like Kahoot, it's a whole new world. Okay, but it can't all be sunshine and roses, right? Of course not. With all these incredible new powers, we're also facing some really tough challenges and big ethical questions. Let's talk about the elephants in the classroom. And this is where things get really interesting. You've got two totally different perspectives. On one side, students are all in. Almost 90% of college students are using AI for homework. They get the risks, but they're embracing it. Then you have the teachers. They see AI as a helpful co-pilot, which is cool. They love that it cuts down their workload, but they're also really worried about cheating, about whether students will stop thinking for themselves, and about losing that vital human connection. And it's not just students and teachers in this debate. Everybody's got a stake in this. You've got policymakers who are frankly playing catch-up, trying to figure out the rules for all this. Then you have the experts, and they're all saying the same thing, loud and clear. AI should be here to help teachers, to augment what they do, not to replace them. That's a really important point. Which leads us to the big, scary question, the cheating epidemic. Let's be real. When an AI can pump out a perfect essay in seconds, what does that do to the whole idea of homework and grades? It completely throws academic integrity into question. And the worry goes even deeper. It's this. Is AI making us dumber? Seriously, if you can just ask AI for the answer to everything, are we training a generation of students to stop thinking critically? Are we trading real problem-solving skills for just easy answers? And believe me, the list of ethical headaches doesn't stop there. We've got to worry about bias being programmed right into the AI. What about privacy? Who owns all this student data? There's the fear that classrooms could become lonely, isolated places. And what about the digital divide? We have to make sure this tech doesn't just widen the gap between rich and poor schools. And of course, the big one for educators, are teachers going to lose their jobs? Okay, so those are some heavy challenges. But despite all that, the vision for what's next is, well, it's incredibly exciting. So let's pivot and take a glimpse into what the classroom of tomorrow could look like if we manage to get this right. Just imagine this. We could have hyper-personalized learning where AI tutors can tell if a student is stressed or confused. Teachers could transform into super coaches, mentors who guide students, while AI takes care of the busy work. We're talking about dynamic content creation, like immersive VR field trips, all generated by AI. Assessments would finally move beyond just memorizing facts, and true universal accessibility could become a reality for every single learner. But for any of that incredible future to happen, there's one thing we're all going to need, and it's a new core skill: AI literacy. Seriously, understanding how AI works, how to use it right, and how to think about the ethics, that's about to become as fundamental as reading and writing. And if you think this is just some passing fad, look at this number: $112 billion. That's the projected market value for AI in education by 2031. This isn't a trend, it's a fundamental shift. The money is pouring in, which means AI is here to stay, and its impact is going to be absolutely massive. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. We've gone from AI as a dream in the 50s to the complicated reality of today, and we've peeked at its incredible potential for the future. It's pretty clear the path forward is going to take all of us thinking carefully about this. And I think this quote just nails it. The future isn't about if AI will be in education. That ship has sailed. The real question is how we're going to do it. The only way this works is with a human-centered approach, making sure all this amazing tech is actually serving students and aligning with our values. So that leaves us with the big final question, and it's one for all of us. How do we build an AI-powered education system that's fair for everyone, that makes us smarter, and that strengthens, not weakens, the irreplaceable human connection between teachers and students? That's the challenge and the opportunity that lies ahead.